Here's Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart, your host of the Fit Life Orange County.
My friend Erin Petrossi, welcome to the Fit Life Orange County.
Thank you, Bryce, for having me.
All right. Well, I am so excited to feature you on today's show. A new friend of mine, introduced by my wife, Tatiana, who has been a Spartan trainer with you for the last, we'll say, handful of months. And she introduced us because you are a massage therapist and a very specific type of massage therapist, being a shiatsu massage, if we can say that right, a shiatsu, which has been a game changer for me, even in a few short months. So I had to get you on the show. One, just to showcase, the line of work that you do and be able to showcase that to our community. And then also, too, for you to be able to, storytell and be able to provide a little visibility to what a shiatsu type massage is. So with all that said, that's the framework we're going to be talking about today. But before we go into that, just want to really get the backstory. You are a super fit lady and really want to talk about, how you got involved in fitness, how you started, and what type of fitness you began with.
Well, I started with running, and I began to run, and I really enjoyed it. And then a friend of mine asked me to do a race, so I did a race, and I ended up getting like second overall.
Ooh.
So things progressed. I was going to OCC, and I decided to go on the cross country team. And then as things developed, I ended up getting a scholarship to Cal State Fullerton.
So this is back in the college days.
Yes, back in the college days. And I ran in college for running. And then I just continued to run and compete after college.
How long were your races? Were they, I'm curious on what the distance was and all that.
In college, they were like 5Ks and the 10,000 meters in track and 3,000 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know something we have in common because I like to run as well. Like it increased my endorphins. I just feel like amazing afterwards. And I like my boot camp circuits, which are really important. But I try to, get at least probably 10 miles throughout the course of the week. I think even today you train, when we were talking last, I think you train around 25 miles a week. Is that fair to say?
25 to 30, yeah, depending on the week. Because I do a lot more cross training now.
Okay. So back in college, that's kind of what got you started in running. And then how long were you an avid runner for? I guess you still to this day, but like
still running, yeah. Okay. Probably I've been running for 29 years.
29.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And then you talked about some cross training as well. So what other, we met because of Tatiana doing the Spartan race, but what type of other training do you do?
Spartan training. So obstacle training and weight training. I swim and I do spin class. So I do a variety of things only because I can't run as much as I used to.
Why not?
Because my knees are a little bad from too much running.
Yeah, that is the disadvantage over a long period of time. It's just hard on the knees and the joints and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Flexibility would be like the big question I have for you because especially for runners, but just in general, especially with people that come try boot camp and circuit training and also just training in general, super important to be flexible for your general health and also too for injury, recovery and injury prevention, if you will. This is sadly, as you know, Erin, probably my weakest part of my fitness is my flexibility, which is also probably a reason that I came to see you for a massage. But talk a little bit about your flexibility and then, when did you start taking that a little bit more seriously in your life?
I didn't start taking it seriously till I was about 47. I was able to get away with it for a while, but it was really hindering my running. And I love fitness. And I just realized that my muscles were getting so short and it was harder and harder to run or to exercise. So I knew I needed to stretch those muscles out. And it made a world of difference.
That was kind of like the driving factor that really made you at the age 47 decide to take your flexibility game a little bit more seriously.
I mean, I knew I stretched. I stretched a lot in college and stuff, but then I got kind of lazy with it.
Yeah.
And I was able to get away with it for a while, but once I got older, my muscles were shortening up. I needed to stretch them out for them to perform what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. And then now you're a massage therapist. I would imagine I guess from our conversations, I know you take your flexibility pretty seriously. So you stretch every day?
Yeah, before I go to bed.
About how long?
20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes,
Okay.
depending how sore I am or what needs to be done. Because I have to do upper body now too, because I don't just run.
Oh, got it.
So there's a lot more muscles to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, kind of transitioning, and again, this kind of all comes together. But I want to talk about your line of work,
Mhm.
which is how we met, which is a shiatsu massage, which is a massage modality I never even heard of before,
Mhm.
actually. So when Tatiana kind of told me, I have my hamstrings. There's like a lot of things in me that are tight, specifically my lower body. And Tatiana was like, "Well, listen, I have a friend that I know from Spartan training. She talks about this type of massage.
Mhm.
I think it's really interesting. I want to put you in touch." So she did, and
Mhm.
this is the end of 2022. And after I saw you for the first time, I kid you not, and I think I shared this with you in person, but I went home to Tatiana. I was like, "That is the
Mhm.
best massage I've ever had in my life," which I love. So I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about that. But really, before we talk about specifically a shiatsu type of the modality, how did you get into massage therapy? How did you learn about it? Like, what was the aha that really kind of sparked your interest to get in this line of work?
For massage,
Yeah.
great. My kids were grown, and I wanted to get back into the workforce, and um, but I wanted some flexibility because some of my kids were still kind of young, and so I wanted some flexibility, and also I've always been in the athletic world. I have a lot of friends that are athletes, and muscles were always really important to me. And so it just made sense because I knew what an athlete needed. I know that they needed that relief. And so I'm like, I want to be a massage therapist because I want to help my fellow athletes relax and get that therapy that they needed.
And I think that's really important because specifically your dream client, if you will, we call that our avatar in the fit
Hmm.
body world. It's really important to know who you want to serve first,
Hmm.
and then from there you can actually create products and services to help that client. So from your perspective, you just being an athlete your whole life, you're like, hey, listen, I know the pain, the
Hmm.
trials, the tribulations that athletes go through. I want to service that type of person. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, how did you kind of stumble upon the world of a shiatsu massage?
Yeah. So as I got into massage therapy, I realized that nobody really wanted a Swedish massage. They all wanted deep tissue.
Yeah.
And especially working on athletes, their muscles are pretty thick and harder to work for. And so massage could be very taxing on your body. And I thought, well, I still want to work out. I don't know how I can do all this. But I saw a shiatsu on YouTube, and I saw that and I go, I need to do that. I need to do that. And I found the lady in San Clemente who taught it, and I got certified to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you got exposed to it.
On YouTube.
Well, just like this video is on YouTube, or will be posted on YouTube, which is the whole goal here. And certainly our vision is to inspire fitness, change lives with this particular show. We have a huge passion for fitness. Also, it's a great way to introduce people to Mission Viejo Fit Body Bootcamp, but also other products and services. And
Mhm.
I'm a huge fan. I'm really, really excited to share your message because
Mhm.
just in a short period of time, it's really helped, me from my muscular, my posture, and overall just like my general well-being. And I plan to continue seeing you once a month for a long time. Um, so, for those of our audience who've never heard of a shiatsu type of massage before, can you really explain it and then really kind of give the audience like an understanding of like what the experience is like?
So a shiatsu is obviously with your feet, and I'm holding on to bars. So I can apply light pressure, I can apply heavy pressure. It all depends on what the client needs. And so my foot being such a broad tool, it really helps the muscles to relax a lot more, as opposed to like an elbow, which causes muscles to retract and not allow you to penetrate that muscle.
Yeah.
So they're long strokes. With the foot, you can go all the way from the foot to the head and on your body. And it causes the muscle to relax, and I can go deeper. It's not just surface, but my foot is able to go to the deeper muscles underneath.
So, Erin, from my perspective, the way I usually describe this massage, not only to Tatiana when I came back, but ultimately my friends, and now sharing this here
Yeah,
with the audience, is intense, okay, which is needed,
yeah.
but it's also manageable. And from your perspective, the reason it's that way, it's because you're able to use your foot.
Yeah, I'm able to use the foot, and I your muscles are able to trust my foot a lot more than like an elbow. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so from my perspective, like being intense but also manageable,
Uh-huh.
like the way I feel when I'm like in the massage, like the intensity of your foot, like I
Yeah.
can feel it. And ultimately
Yeah.
it's the deep tissue. And that's actually like what breaks up the muscle fiber. And
Yes.
afterwards, that's where I feel like a big sense of relief.
Yes.
But typically speaking, in my experience,
Yeah.
Aaron, when I'm in like a super intense massage, then it's ultimately not manageable. So it's either one or the other.
Mhm.
Whereas this, interesting, it's really hard to describe. You kind of have to experience it to really like fully understand.
Right.
But it's the intensity, but it's also manageable. And I think it's just the modality that you use, being that you use your foot to your
Yes.
point, where at least what you've explained to me previously, where your foot you can apply pressure, but it has
Yes.
bigger surface area versus
Yes.
your elbow, which doesn't.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
your elbow can bruise.
ooh,
It can bruise you, and I've heard people come back and they said they're all bruised and they liked it. They thought that that really got in there, but that's actually not healthy for
yeah.
your muscles
So
because you want that muscle to relax. And the more it relaxes and trusts my foot, the deeper I can go because it's not fighting against my foot.
yeah. What about on my back, for example? Like,
Hmm.
after the first time or two, then like I could just even get a better relaxation from
Yeah.
my perspective.
Yeah.
But then my front, like even like my quads and stuff, it's super tight as well. So
Yeah.
like, how many, I guess, visits does an average person take until they really kind of like get in a rhythm? Is it a few,
Mm,
one? I'm curious.
I'd say about one, two,
Okay.
maybe two visits. By the second visit, they're a lot better. They know what to expect. So they're not as tense,
Yeah.
you know? And this, so I'd say the second or third time.
And what type of people do you usually see? Is it all fitness athletes? Because I know that was your focus, but I'm
Hmm.
curious as well. We were talking offline. You said you sometimes have hairdressers and all
Hmm.
types of people. So,
Yeah.
give us some example of your average client that comes in.
Well, there's athletes. There's a lot of hairdressers because they have a lot of problems with their neck and shoulder because they're hunched over and at one angle for a long time, and so they have lots of shoulder pain. And so, for that, I will use my foot, but I will go in and use my hands too because I need to release their subscapula, their scapula because it gets stuck.
Interesting.
So, and I have a lot of people in their 70s that love it.
Really?
Yeah, and I've done teenagers. So, full spectrum.
And then how long is the massage typically? And then how often do you recommend your client see you?
It's an hour. I have people that come in for 30 minutes. I have people that do 90 minutes. Actually, 90 minutes is my favorite to do.
Really?
Yeah, because I can get more done because there's so much that I want to do in the massage, and sometimes an hour I feel rushed.
Well, I think I'm
So,
going to have to book a 90-minute with you, to Aaron, next time.
What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. It's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you will lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show.
What would you say, kind of taking a step back, looking at the other massage modalities, and you kind of touched upon it a little bit, but what's the one or two biggest benefits of a shiatsu massage versus the traditional massage? Just so our audience, because I would hate for our audience member to be like, well, I've gotten massage before,
hmm
like I'm good,
hmm
where this is definitely a very different type of experience, and I just want to give you the
yeah.
platform to be able to provide the one or two unique benefits more so than a traditional massage.
Well, from what I've noticed, it brings up a lot of toxins. And so a lot of my clients get really stuffy.
Yes, I can
Yes.
barely breathe after about
Yes.
30 minutes in.
Yeah. It's because I can go so deep into those muscles without it hurting. It brings up so much toxins and it helps blood flow to get into those muscles. Blood flow and oxygen can get deep into those muscles and make that muscle healthy.
Yeah, love it.
Mhm.
aside from that, one of the things in terms of just normal prevention as well, you also recommend your clients to stretch and all that. I thought it
Hmm.
was really interesting the feedback that you gave me because my hamstrings are so tight. So
Hmm.
you told me, Bryce, you need to start stretching your quads. So, what do you typically recommend off the mats, with you? Like, what do you typically recommend a client stretch? How long and what type of, I guess, body part?
I would always recommend the quads and the hip flexors because everything, if your hips are tight, your knees are going to hurt, everything is off. For me personally, because I've had back issues before, if my back starts hurting, I know exactly I need to stretch my quads. And it opens up everything. It opens up my hip flexors, um, and your psoas muscle back here. Um, and that just, for some reason, the quads bring great relief. And I've had other clients tell me, they go, yeah, that just felt so good. It relieved the pressure in my back. And so for me, that some people have a lot of problems with their hamstrings. I don't. Hamstrings are very important. Your glutes are important. But another major muscle that's really important is your pecs, because a lot of people don't realize that when your pecs are so tight,
Hmm.
it brings your shoulders forward, everything's down,
Oh yeah.
and then you get a lot of pain back here in your rhomboids and stuff. And so people are always going to have pain back here, but if I flip them over and start massaging their pecs, they're super tight, pulling their shoulder forward, and you have to open everything up, because it helps relieve the neck muscles, the shoulders, the everything back there.
Well, it's all connected, and I did
Yeah.
think it was really interesting because my hamstrings are historically tight, kind of going back to that. But when you said, Bryce, like you need to stretch into your quads, that's going to open things up. Kind of similar feedback to your pecs, but then how that kind of ties into your shoulders and neck.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, we were talking off camera and saw my chiropractor this past week, and I told him
Mhm.
about your feedback, and he's like, "Yep, Bryce, that seems about right. Erin knows what she's talking about." So,
Yay.
um, in terms of additional stretching, I know you said you stretch at night. Is there or is there a reason why? I'm just giving, curious from a general recommendation for audience.
Um, it helps me sleep. I think because when you're stretching, you're expanding that muscle, and like I was saying with massage, it allows blood flow and oxygen to get into that muscle. It makes that muscle really healthy. And then I don't know what it releases, but it just releases something in my body that helps my body to relax.
Oh, cool.
And so that's why I do it before I go to bed.
Well, very good.
Oh,
Go-
also, so I can run the next day.
and stay actively fit, which you are.
Yeah.
I was telling Pablo, who's our awesome media guy behind the camera, I'm like, you can't wait to see Erin. She's like a ball of energy, joy. She's a tiny little thing, but so fit. And you certainly are that, and very much inspiration. Now, I'll kind of put a bow on this particular, I guess the meat and potatoes of the particular show. And really, um, one thing that you said from the very beginning, it was a good pre-frame too, because I never heard a massage therapist say this, but you're like, Bryce, I hear so many times from my clients that this massage, which is why I was attracted to it, is completely different than what you've ever experienced. And really, like, it's been game changers so many of my clients' lives, and it has for me.
Mhm.
So from your lens, what's maybe a client success story or two that has maybe came to you, maybe an athlete, maybe not an athlete, but really
Mhm.
was in pain or from whatever reason was able to enlist the help of you and really help them. I'm curious from your lens.
So there's a few. There's actually a lady, she's about 74, 75, and lower back pain. She was really afraid of a shiatsu. She wasn't sure about it.
Why do you think?
Um, I think she wasn't sure. She thought I was just going to walk on her. She thought it was going to really hurt.
Yeah.
And I just said, just give me 10 minutes. And so I started to work on her sacrum and her lower back, and she was hooked after 10 minutes. And now she comes in all the time for it. And she just would always find relief on her back. She's like, I can reach my foot now.
That's amazing. How long has she been with you?
Almost a year. Yeah.
And I would imagine it depends on the client, depending on where they're at and what their goals are. But would you say like about once a month on average is the recommendation, or how often do clients
Yeah,
see you?
it depends on the client. It depends on their schedule. Um, it depends what they need.
Yeah.
Some people start with once a week and then go to twice, twice a month, and then they go down to once a month. It all depends what they need
Yeah.
and what's going on in their life.
By the way, where is your practice? Our a lot of our interviews and business
Uh-huh.
partnerships are in South Orange County, but you're located in North Orange County. Where
Mhm.
specifically?
It's right off Imperial Highway. It's at Selah Chiropractic.
Okay, is that in Yorba Linda?
Yorba Belinda. Yeah.
Cool. All right, very good, Erin. You are awesome. I
Mhm.
felt so compelled to be able to kind of share your story, share the Ishiatsu type of modality that you practice. Before I transition to lightning round, just to have some fun to finish off the show,
Okay.
is there anything else from your lens that you feel really our audience or a listener out there, maybe who's never heard of this modality, they
Mhm.
should know? And maybe there's not, but I want to give you the opportunity.
Something that they should know.
Anything else about your modality in terms of massage,
Uh-huh.
just that would be interesting or educational for audience?
Well, I think people at first they're a little bit afraid of it, but um, most of my clients have come to realize that they will never go back to a regular massage after they feel this. And the pressure can be exactly what they want. It doesn't have to be heavy pressure, it can be light, it can be whatever they need. And so they don't have to be afraid of it. And it's it a lot of my clients when they leave feel like they're in a massage coma. They're just super relaxed, and another really good benefit is it definitely relaxes your nervous system. So when people are really stressed, your muscles are totally firing and they don't know how to relax.
Hmm.
This really helps them to relax. It helps the nervous system to relax, and it just takes stress away from your body.
Well, I can say from personal experience, everything you just said is absolutely true. And I'm so impressed. Like, I run my body pretty hard. I certainly take care of myself. I sleep well, I eat well, I train hard.
Mhm.
But, that also, takes a toll on the body long term, especially from a
Yeah.
training perspective.
Mhm.
So I'm just so grateful for you, Erin. And I'm just so passionate and very, just excited to be able to share your message because this has been really a big help for me. And especially, being the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body, where a lot of our clients are doing circuit training on a weekly basis, which
Yeah.
our sessions are 30 minutes, was our secret sauce.
Mhm.
However, they are super intense, so don't let the 30 minutes confuse you or fool you, I should say. But really, I really, really wanted to highlight you and bring you in the show because this is a great solution
Mhm.
to keep people, flexible, out of pain,
Yeah.
out of, in recovery, and ultimately, back at, it gives the platform, I should say, in the opportunity to give the average person who's really active and fit to make sure they can stay active and fit and they're
Yes.
not on the sidelines.
Yes,
And I think for me that's
definitely.
a big value.
Yeah, it is. You got to keep those muscles healthy because if we demand so much out of them, we need to give them some love and
Totally.
and help them to keep producing what you need them to.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, my friend Erin. So I'm going to transition. I got a few minutes left. I want to kind of transition to the lightning round just to have some fun. You're a very passionate lady. What would you say is your biggest passion these days and why?
My biggest passion, um, definitely fitness. I mean, I love my Spartan team, and I love running. I love fitness. I love my kids.
That you do. I was going to say you
Yes,
always talk about your children, which
yes.
I
They're
admire
just,
that.
yeah, they're the highlight of my day. They're
Aw. Well, a lot of our audience are moms and dads, so they can
Mhm,
certainly relate to that.
mhm,
Speaking of fitness, I love to ask this question, especially for trainers. Even though I guess technically you're not a fitness trainer, but you are
yeah.
in the health field.
Mhm.
What's your favorite healthy meal, and then what's your favorite cheat meal?
Favorite healthy meal is probably my homemade granola.
Okay. What about cheat meal?
I guess that's not really a meal, but I eat it all the time.
And your guilty pleasure.
um, I love dark chocolate.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I think many of our audience could probably also relate to that.
yeah.
A little bit random question. What's your favorite holiday?
4th of July.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
because
love
I
it.
love the summertime.
Me too.
Hmm.
I'm a summer baby. This is a local podcast, as you viewers can see, the Fit Life Orange County. So, where's a cool spot or one of your favorite spots in Orange County we can find you or your family hanging out at?
Newport Beach.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a beach baby.
Yes, definitely love the beach. Have been taking my kids down there for years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, last two questions and kind of bringing it back to fitness. What would your parting piece of wisdom be for someone listening to this right now or watching this who's like, holy smokes, like, yes, I'm fit, I'm active, but like I have a lot of pain and I'm interested to learn more from Erin about, the Ashiatsu type of massage.
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm apprehensive. Maybe like your client who's 70, who's like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
like I'm a little scared. What would your advice to that person be?
Um, Come give it a try. Just try 10 minutes. You'll like it. Most of my clients that were afraid, they ended up loving it. And I'm not walking on you. I don't, it's, you just have to try it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I will reinforce that. And certainly I didn't have any doubts at all,
Mhm.
just because the trusted source was my wife. But she said there's a very special type of massage. And I was kind of curious more than anything. I couldn't really put my mind to it. But I'm telling you, my friends, like one massage and I was hooked. And I've trained my body really hard since 2007. So this is really, really important for me and also for you and the rest of our audience, which is really why I'm so inspired to share the message. Actually, I said two questions. I still have two questions left. I didn't actually ask your contact information. So if someone is watching this and was like, oh, shoot, where can I, get in touch with Erin? I think you said a cell phone, either, excuse me, a phone, either to give you a call or text. So
Yeah.
what would be the best way to reach you?
My phone number
Which is?
714 801 2305.
So just reach out to you and
Yes.
basically connect for massage.
Mhm.
All right. To put a bow on this, the last, I guess, question I have for you is, being that the title of the show is The Fit Life Orange County, what does it mean to live a healthy and fit life from your perspective, Erin?
Um, Exercise, eat good, drink lots of water, um, be kind to people, and just be outdoors as much as you can. Being inside, I mean, we have such beautiful weather here, and go for a hike. If you can't work out really hard, go for a hike. Go outside.
Totally.
Mhm.
Well, Erin, you are amazing. I'm so glad we finally were able to make this happen. And like you said, I'm a raving fan, super excited. This is going to be really beneficial for you. So I highly encourage you to reach out to Erin. You will not be disappointed. And I know, friends, you got a ton of value from an education perspective. Hopefully, introduce you to a new type of training modality, which will help with your health and fitness, which is the mission of the show, which is inspire fitness and change lives here in our local community in Orange County. So if you got value, and I highly encourage you to share this message, give this episode a like and subscribe so that way we can keep producing this content and bringing awesome guests like Erin for you for free. So that's all for today. Erin, thank you again.
Thank you.
And my friends, we will see you in the next episode.